When you think about being happy, often you think about things you want. But the way spirituality works is actually kind of the opposite. It's not so much about what you want, but what you need. Like the Rolling Stones song, I guess. To get what you want out of life, you really have to get what you need. And to get what you need, you have to head towards what you don't want. Wait a second, that is totally confusing. The reason why is think of it like a teeter-totter when you're a kid. And in order to play, you have to have the balance. So if you're too far this way, you're stuck. Nothing happens. You can't go anywhere. You have to go more this direction in order to find the balance and the back and forth. The same is true for the south node and the north node. In your chart, you're going to find that the south node and north node are always 180 degrees apart. That means they're opposite signs. So it would be like a Pisces Virgo, it would be like a Taurus Scorpio. You get the picture. See, what we don't even realize, probably until we're at least in our 30s, hopefully, and not living in our parents' basement, is that we all have different realities that we live in. What we think is the only way is actually just one of many ways. But we don't realize it because we are stuck in our ways. One of my friends is a psychologist, and her most two hated words in the English vocabulary are comfort zone. That is exactly what a south node in your chart is. It's your comfort zone. When you're young, you don't even realize it. Maybe your parents and family even encourage you. They say, "Wow, you're so good at that. That's amazing. Congratulations." Not realizing that what you're actually good at is your own downfall. It is going to be this brick that is chained to your ankle that you're going to be dragging around with you. And until you just let it go, you're going to find that things just don't work out right. You might accomplish what you're after, but for some reason, it just never feels good. You never feel accomplished. And the reason why is because for multiple lifetimes, over and over and over, you've been doing the same thing. You have been living in a comfort zone. The more and more you stay in that comfort zone, the darker it gets. So, get out now. Get out as soon as you can. If you're 21 years old and watching this, congratulations, I wish I were you. But some people never realize it. And that's why you'll find that if there's a person that's happy, they have realized their north node and they're starting to head towards it. If there's a person who's miserable and they're 70 years old, it's because they're still stuck in their south node. Ew. So you know the astrology globe. It's a picture of a globe and that has this arrow through it. Well, that globe is called an astrolabe. The arrow is pointing towards the north node and the south node is the direction you want to go away from. Okay. It's also referred to as the dragon's head and dragon's tail. The dragon's head, of course, is where you want to head. The dragon's tail, not where you want to go. Does this mean you have to abandon all of these things you're good at? I mean, you work lifetimes to achieve all this stuff. Do you really just have to let go everything you've learned? No, of course not. But it's best if you use those things to mentor other people. Teach other people what you know and let them be the star of that show for this life. Because you have a whole different role to play. And life isn't about doing what you're good at. Life is about figuring out what you're not good at. The north node and south node are also referred to as karma and dharma. So here you have the north node. Hello. North node is dharma. And over here you have the south node, your past. This is karma. When people say karma is going to catch up to you, that's what we're talking about here. It's to say that everything that you've done in a past life is catching up to you now. Yeah, some is good. Yeah, some is bad. But everything that has been rehashed over and over and over too many times, it's becoming a broken record. That's your south node. All right, so now, like a magical page, I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to go into your magical north node and south node. Here we go. Aries north node, Libra south node. So Aries is a great sign, right? I mean, they're beautiful, they're sweet, they're charming. So what's so wrong with having a little too much Libra in your life, right? Well, actually a lot of things. So let's get to it. Libra south nodes are usually really beautiful people, or they're very delicate in their features, and they have a way of bringing people to them because they're very charming. They were politicians or advisors to extremely powerful people in a past life, and they've done this for lifetimes over and over. So this comes naturally to you guys. But by doing that, what you're actually doing is giving your power away, not just to anybody, but usually to what you consider in your life to be the quintessential alpha male. Of course, this could be female, this could be, someone who other people consider to be really a nice person, but in your mind, something about this person represents the alpha male. They embody everything that Aries is to you. And so what you're doing is you're taking that Aries energy and you're putting it off onto someone else. Usually Libra South nodes, until they get more into their Aries energy, they think, I don't have an ego. Like, I'm so nice. I'm too nice. Like, people walk all over me. Isn't that great? Well, no, it's not great, because nobody wants to feel guilty. And by giving your power away, you are not being held accountable for your own life and your own decisions. And you're living vicariously through other people. If you guys are into psychology, this is like multiple levels of projection going on here. Until you embrace your own identity, what you want, and your own desire. I've talked to a lot of Libra South nodes, and they say that passion is fleeting. Passion is one of the hardest things for them to hold on to, and they try to find it in other people. They're constantly thinking about, well, what do people think? What are they going to feel? And they're looking at all sides of it. And the one thing they're not looking at is, well, what about me? How do I feel about this? You're playing devil's advocate on so many levels that eventually you're just going to exhaust yourself, and then you're going to start going into that passive-aggressive mode. You guys know what I'm talking about. You've been there, where suddenly you're like, I'm done being the nice guy. The dark side comes out. And then anyone and everyone is going to incur your wrath. Except maybe the alpha male, because you're still thinking, well, I need to put on a brave face because I need this person. Little do you guys know, you are the alpha male. Yeah, you heard me right. You beautiful, delicate people are the alpha male. When other people look at you, they're seeing somebody who is very powerful, who needs to come into their power and accept their power and accept, you know what? I do have an ego and I am awesome, and that is great. I know that it sounds harsh, but all of us have an ego. And if we don't accept that we're all on somewhat of an ego trip, myself included, then you are liable to be hurting people more because you're not being honest with yourself. A Libra South node also, and this doesn't go for everybody, but you might have trouble with fidelity in relationships because you are playing all sides of the field at all times. And a Libra, even though they represent love and romance in their highest evolution, what we're talking about here are South nodes. And South nodes are the bad traits of Libra being magnified. Libra tells people what they want to hear, and Libras are big flirts. Come on, let's be honest. You're the ultimate flirt. So that flirtation might take it to the next level. Libras also, if they're not sure who they are yet and haven't stepped into their own power, they're giving their power away. And that could be also included into affairs and things like that. It's really hard for a Libra South node to be genuine. This is confusing to other types because other types are more sure of themselves and know what they want. Their wants are very loud and powerful. So a Libra South node is strange in the sense that they take on other people's wants and other people's desires. It's like playing a character almost, like playing a role in a film. They will see a person who has ambition, who has desire, who's passionate, and they will gravitate towards that person. And they will take on those passions as if it's their own. So much so that they really don't know where that other person ends and where they begin. Ultimately, this runs its course. It's like wearing another person's clothes. It just doesn't fit right. You have to be really careful that you don't start blaming that person for what just happened, because ultimately, it was you the whole time. It's like an Agatha Christie novel. Libra South nodes are so confusing. I wish for the days of the Aries South node where they would just tell me I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about. So what does this all amount to? Well, Aries energy, we can all talk about how they're selfish and they're conceited and they think they're so wonderful. But at the end of the day, every single sign has traits that we all need in our life. And Aries is the lovable villain. because we've got to hand it to them. They know themselves, and to thyself be true. So Libra, step into your badass self and accept your power. Accept that you're the boss. Accept that people are looking to you and that you are the puppet master behind it all. And stop playing behind the puppets. Step out into the world and let people see all sides of you and not just the smiling, agreeable part of you. And you know what? People are going to still love you. Actually, they're going to love you more because they're going to feel like you have really accepted yourself for who you are and you love yourself. All right, hope you guys liked my take on Aries North Node, Libra South Node. So sorry for the long wait, but hope it was worth it. Subscribe.